Psychology and self-mastery under uncertainty. You believe the game begins when you press the button. It does not. The game begins much earlier, in the quiet moment when you decide what you are willing to risk, what you hope to gain, and what you refuse to lose. That decision creates the boundary between the gambler and the game. Most people enter a casino believing they are searching for a winning machine, a fortunate number, or the perfect moment. But there is another possibility. Perhaps the first thing you must learn to read is not the machine. Perhaps it is yourself. This book is not a promise that you will defeat probability. No person can honestly make that promise. Licensed casino games are designed with randomness and a mathematical house advantage. A strategy may change how you behave, how much you risk, and how long you remain in control, but it cannot command a random outcome. The purpose of this journey is different. It is to study discipline, psychology, probability, and self-mastery under uncertainty. It is to examine the choices made before, during, and after play. It is to discover whether gambling controls your behavior, or whether your behavior remains your own. Welcome to the first rule. The rule beneath every other rule. Rule 0. Protect your bankroll. Your bankroll is not simply money. It is time. It is labor. It is possibility. Every dollar represents a piece of your life that has already been exchanged for it. Therefore, never gamble money needed for rent, food, medicine, transportation, debt, savings, or the people who depend upon you. Never borrow money to gamble. Never disguise gambling money as investment capital. Never allow a game to consume resources assigned to your real life. Before you play, establish a loss limit. Decide exactly how much you can afford to spend as entertainment. If that amount disappears, the session is over. You may also establish a win target. A target does not force the game to reward you. It gives you a reason to leave while you are ahead. Suppose your entertainment bankroll is $20. Your stop loss cannot be $30 because that would exceed the money you chose to bring. The boundary must be real. If $20 is the session bankroll, $20 is the maximum loss. When the boundary moves because you are frustrated, excited, or desperate, it was never truly a boundary. Every dollar must have a job. Some dollars protect your home. Some protect your future. Only a deliberately limited amount may be assigned to entertainment. Protecting capital does not create a mathematical advantage over the casino. It creates longevity in your real life. Psychology of losing. The machine does not need to understand your mind for your mind to become vulnerable. Human beings naturally search for meaning. We notice patterns, remember unusual victories, and construct stories around coincidence. This ability helps us navigate the world, but inside a random game, it can become a trap. Confirmation bias makes us remember the moments that support our theory, while forgetting those that contradict it. Recency bias makes the latest result feel more important than it is. Overconfidence persuades us that a brief winning streak proves mastery. Loss chasing tells us that the next wager can repair the last one. Tilt transforms frustration into reckless action. These forces do not arrive wearing warning labels. They speak in your own voice. I understand this machine now. I cannot stop after losing that much. One more spin will make everything right. The words may feel logical, while emotion is producing them. Winning players study behavior as carefully as they study games. They recognize that the most expensive mistake may not be choosing the wrong machine. It may be continuing after the original plan has vanished. Probability and expected value. A casino is not built upon luck alone. It is built upon mathematics. Every licensed casino game has rules governing possible outcomes and payouts. Expected value describes the average result of a decision over a very large number of repetitions. In most casino games, that value favors the house. This does not mean a player cannot win during a session. Players win every day. It means that repeated play generally allows the mathematical advantage to express itself over time. Short-term results can be dramatic. Long-term probability remains indifferent. Imagine a game in which you occasionally win a large prize, but on average, receive less money than you wager. A single victory can hide that structure for a time. It cannot erase it. Discipline matters, because probability does not negotiate with desire. You cannot control the random number generator. You cannot make a jackpot become due. You cannot create a winning result through confidence, suffering, rhythm, loyalty, or need. You can control whether you participate. You can control your wager size. You can control the length of the session. You can control whether one loss becomes 10. The house controls probability. You control behavior. The science behind gambling. To understand gambling, begin with the sciences that truly apply. Probability, variance, randomness, risk management, decision-making, behavioral psychology, and emotional regulation. Variance explains why short-term results can differ sharply from long-term averages. A person can make a careful decision and lose. Another can make a reckless decision and win. The outcome does not automatically reveal the quality of the decision. This distinction is essential. If a poor decision wins, the reward may teach the wrong lesson. If a good decision loses, disappointment may tempt you to abandon discipline. The intelligent player evaluates the process separately from the result. Ask not only, did I win? Ask, did I follow the limit I established while thinking clearly? Randomness often appears meaningful because the human mind is extraordinarily skilled at constructing patterns. 5 losses may feel like evidence that a win must arrive. Several wins may feel like evidence that a machine has become generous. Neither conclusion is guaranteed. Independent random events do not remember what happened before. The game does not owe the player balance, justice, rescue, or revenge. A spiritual perspective. Spiritual belief can offer meaning, humility, patience, and moral direction. It can encourage a person to live deliberately rather than carelessly. But spirituality should not be turned into a promise that the universe will produce a jackpot. The universe is not a slot strategy. Faith may help you accept uncertainty. It may remind you that wealth is not the measure of human worth. It may strengthen your ability to walk away when pride demands that you remain. Disciplined living often reveals opportunities that careless living misses, not because reality secretly rearranges random numbers for the discipline, but because clear thinking makes better choices visible. Patience can protect you. Humility can teach you. Wisdom can tell you when enough is enough. The spiritual victory is not forcing the game to obey your will. It is refusing to sacrifice your well-being to the illusion that it must. Free play. Promotional credits and free play rewards can feel different from ordinary money. Psychologically, they may seem less real. That feeling can encourage larger wagers or longer sessions. Remember, promotional play is designed to bring you back into the game. Read every condition. Understand whether winnings can be withdrawn, whether wagering requirements apply when credits expire, and whether a deposit is required. Never deposit money merely to rescue a promotion that is pressuring you to play. If free play produces withdrawable winnings, you may choose to cash them out. You are not required to continue gambling simply because the original credit was promotional. The principle is simple. Money you can withdraw is money you can protect. Do not confuse a balance displayed on a screen with guaranteed ownership. Verify the rules. Withdraw when appropriate. Avoid constructing a system around keeping a specific minimum balance, because continued play exposes that balance to continued risk. A small preserved win remains yours. A large displayed balance can return to zero. Entering the world of slots. A slot machine offers very few visible choices. You select the wager. You may select paylines or features. You press spin. In some games, you choose whether to use an automatic or faster mode. Because the interface is simple, the mind may imagine hidden control. Perhaps the timing of the button matters. Perhaps a rhythm can unlock a larger prize. Perhaps the software notices whether you are greedy, patient, grateful, or afraid. These beliefs can feel powerful. They are not reliable evidence of how regulated random slot outcomes are determined. The machine does not reward moral worth. It does not examine your spirit. It does not place jackpots inside tiny windows of quantum time waiting for a sufficiently aware player to discover them. In ordinary regulated slots, the random number generator determines outcomes according to the game's rules. Pressing the button dramatically, peacefully, rhythmically, or at a carefully imagined moment does not create a dependable advantage. The important timing is not the millisecond in which you spin. It is the moment in which you decide to stop. The attitude of the player. Your attitude toward money, life, failure, and success will shape your experience, even when it cannot shape the random result. If gambling becomes proof of your value, every loss can feel like a judgment. If a jackpot becomes your rescue plan, every spin carries a weight it was never designed to bear. Cultivate a healthy life before you enter the game. Sleep, eat, care for your relationships, meet your obligations. Do not overextend your finances or sacrifice your future in pursuit of a dramatic outcome. Gambling should never require blood, sweat, tears, debt, and the destruction of your peace. That is not commitment to a craft. It is a warning that the activity may be causing harm. Treat money seriously by understanding what gambling is. Entertainment involving financial risk. Casinos can pay large prizes and still retain an overall mathematical advantage. Winners are created every day, but so are losses that receive no advertisement. Public stories naturally celebrate exceptional outcomes, while ordinary losses remain invisible. Do not compare your private balance to another person's public victory. Their photograph does not show every wager that came before, or every choice that followed. Can the house always win? The phrase "the house always wins" is often misunderstood. It does not mean every player loses every session. If that were true, gambling would hold little mystery. It means the system is designed so that, across enormous numbers of wagers, the operator generally retains an advantage. You may win some, more, a great deal, or nothing, but you cannot know the future result of a random spin simply by observing the recent past. Playing scientifically does not mean discovering a supernatural way to command the outcome. It means accepting the evidence even when it challenges what you want to believe. Science asks, can this claim be tested? Can it be repeated? Is there a more ordinary explanation? Would the belief survive a complete record of wins and losses? True scientific thinking may lead to a conclusion the gambler does not enjoy. The safest way to preserve gambling money is not to wager it. That truth is not pessimism. It is clarity. The gambler's journal. Memory changes under emotion. A journal does not. Record the date and game. Record your beginning bankroll and ending bankroll. Record the total amount wagered if that information is available. Record your mood before playing. Record your mood afterward. Record the largest win, the largest loss, the duration of the session, the mistakes you noticed, and the lesson you intend to carry forward. Then ask, why did I begin playing? Why did I continue? Why did I stop, or why did I fail to stop? Was I bored? Was I angry, lonely, anxious, or excited? Did greed influence the next wager? Did I increase my bet after losing? Did I gamble longer than planned? Did I hide the amount from anyone? Did I call entertainment an investment because I was afraid to admit the loss? Do not use the journal to prove that you possess a hidden system. Use it to reveal your habits. Patterns of behavior are real, measurable, and changeable. Emotional gambling. Emotional gambling often announces itself through urgent language. I need to win. I will win it back. I cannot leave like this. One more spin. I am overdue. Need is dangerous because the game cannot recognize it. The random number generator does not know that rent is due, that you suffered yesterday, or that victory would restore your pride. If you hear desperation entering the decision, pause. Stand up, leave the screen. Drink water, speak to someone you trust. Allow time to exist between feeling and action. The goal is not to become emotionless. The goal is to stop emotion from disguising itself as mathematics. Enjoyment is an emotion. Desperation is a command. Learn the difference. The illusion of patterns. A player watches several losing spins and believes a win is approaching. Another watches several winning spins and believes the machine is hot. Both are constructing a story around randomness. Random sequences often contain streaks. A streak does not require a hidden intelligence. It does not prove the machine is communicating. It does not transform the next independent result into a debt owed to the player. This is why timing systems and rhythmic spinning can become seductive. They give the player a feeling of participation beyond the actual choices provided by the game. Feeling involved is not the same as having influence. You may press the button conveniently, carefully, quickly, or slowly. You may create rituals that make the experience more enjoyable, but a ritual should never be represented as proof of an advantage unless reliable evidence demonstrates it. Truth does not become weaker because it is less exciting. Truth becomes useful. Entertainment versus investment. Ask yourself why you are gambling. For entertainment. For profit. For escape. For excitement. From habit. If the answer is entertainment, decide what the experience is worth before it begins. A concert ticket has a price. A meal has a price. Gambling entertainment must also have a price, and that price must remain affordable even if nothing is returned. If the answer is dependable profit, confront the mathematics honestly. A negative expected value game is not a conventional investment. It does not produce predictable returns merely because it is approached with seriousness. If the answer is escape, ask what you are escaping from. The game may temporarily silence a problem while quietly creating another. Discipline is strategy. You cannot control jackpots. You cannot control random number generators. You cannot control variance. You cannot control whether the next result feels fair. You can control the session length. You can control the amount wagered. You can control whether losses are chased. You can control whether you gamble while intoxicated, exhausted, or emotionally overwhelmed. You can control expectations. You can decide that a limit is a limit, not the opening position in a negotiation with yourself. This is discipline, not a method for forcing the machine to pay, but a method for preventing the machine from taking more than you knowingly chose to risk. Winning without winning. The word winning deserves a larger definition. Sometimes winning means leaving early. Sometimes it means cashing out instead of recycling every dollar through another wager. Sometimes it means following the limit after a painful loss. Sometimes it means recognizing that you are no longer having fun. Sometimes it means choosing not to play. Sometimes it means telling the truth to someone who cares about you. And sometimes it means asking for help. There is no weakness in stepping away from an activity that is damaging your finances, relationships, work, or peace of mind. Self-mastery is not proven by standing beside temptation forever. It may be proven by walking through the door. Closing philosophy. You entered believing the secret was hidden inside the game. A special machine. A perfect rhythm. A moment invisible to everyone else. But the deeper secret was never a code that could force randomness to obey. It was awareness. The awareness to distinguish probability from prophecy. The awareness to recognize emotion before it becomes action. The awareness to protect money that belongs to your future. The awareness to leave while a part of you still wants to stay. A perfect decision can lose. A terrible decision can win. One session proves little. Many recorded sessions reveal patterns, not necessarily inside the machine, but inside the person playing it. Study those patterns. Question the stories that chance invites you to invent. Respect mathematics. Respect uncertainty. Respect the limits you created while your mind was clear. Do not play as though loss is impossible. Play only with what you can afford to lose completely. Do not seek greatness through a button. Build it through the decisions that remain yours. The casino controls the game. Probability controls the outcome. But your next choice, whether to begin, whether to continue, and whether to walk away, still belongs to you. Winning begins long before the spin. It begins with the person making the decision. And perhaps the greatest victory is not making the machine surrender. Perhaps it is refusing to surrender yourself. Disclaimer. This work reflects personal experiences, observations, philosophy, and interpretations. It does not provide financial advice or a guaranteed gambling system. No gambling strategy guarantees profit. Licensed casino games are governed by their rules, randomness, probability, payout structures, and house advantage. Promotional offers may include restrictions and wagering requirements. Gambling should be treated as entertainment and undertaken only by adults of legal gambling age using money they can afford to lose completely. Never gamble money needed for essential expenses. Never borrow to gamble, and never chase losses. If gambling is causing financial, emotional, occupational, or relationship harm, stop playing and seek support from a qualified local problem gambling service. The purpose of this book is to encourage discipline, emotional awareness, bankroll protection, critical thinking, and honest self-reflection.